So I'm here with Erik, Severinghaus, CEO of Simple Relevance. Erik, please tell me what your company does.
Hi, Paula. Thanks for having me on here. So, Simple Relevance in a nutshell, what we do is we make it really easy for primarily e-commerce companies, but really anybody who's in the B2C space to personalize the type of messaging that they send out. So, when I'm talking to folks, the analogy that I use a lot is if you think about that email you might have gotten from Amazon at some point that almost seems to know you better than you know yourself. It suggests something you might be interested in buying based on what you bought before, maybe what you clicked on, et cetera, et cetera. What we do is we take that same sort of technology and we make it really easy for other B2C retailers and other B2C companies in general to really personalize the digital marketing that they send out. So if you think about when somebody's getting ready to send an email, we can have it arrive at the time of day that each person's most likely to open it, with a subject line that's most likely to interest somebody, product recommendations that somebody might be most likely to convert on. And we do all this at the individual level in email, we're doing it in social, we do it in a whole bunch of different digital marketing channels.
Okay, very cool. Erik, tell me an interesting story about your business.
So when you think about interesting stories, entrepreneurship is full of sort of highs and lows, and there's a million different interesting stories. The one that really sticks out to me and something that really changed our business is one of the first things that we started doing when we got into this space is we started going out to a whole bunch of different e-commerce company websites. So we actually employed some interns and went out and signed up for newsletters for about 15,000 different e-commerce companies. So you can imagine we had a half a dozen people working and just going out to all these websites, putting in our email address so that we could actually see what they were sending us and so we could understand a little bit better about how people send email. The thing that really changed our business and has put us on a whole different trajectory is when we came to realize that 84% of these e-commerce companies that we signed up to receive their newsletters didn't send us anything after 3 months. So we came to realize our initial value proposition was really, we wanted to help people send better email and help people do a better job of personalizing the way they market digitally. What we came to understand is, in fact, automating that process and making it dead simple, dead easy to send highly targeted, highly personalized communication is really what was most important. And so based on our learnings from that, we really restructured the way that we were going to market, and it's really been fantastic since.
Great, so you've done a lot of testing. Now, Erik, tell me how your services compare with some of your competitors.
So there's nobody else that's really quite taking the exact same spin on the market that we do. There's other folks out there that do personalization technology. There are competitors that are sort of beginning to marry personalization with the capabilities of an email service provider. However, we're in sort of a completely different segment in that we are email service provider agnostic. So we work with everybody from iContact, Constant Contact, MailChimp, ExactTarget, Email Direct, Active Campaign. The list goes on and on. We work with all sorts of different email service providers. So you don't need to think about changing ESPs if you want to use us to help send smarter, better email. At the same time, we really try and differentiate on a couple of different points. Number one is we are committed to being the easiest, simplest solution out there to use. This technology around artificial learning and all kinds of things like that has existed for a long time. A lot of times where the challenge is that it's too difficult for folks to actually set up and implement. And so we really try and be the easiest solution out there. On the other hand, the other thing that we really differentiate on is making sure that we've got a variety of different data sources so that our personalization is robust, comprehensive, and incredibly effective, and really measuring that effectiveness and improving it over time. So if you think about the name of our company, Simple Relevance, it really comes down to the two core things that we try and do better than everybody else. Number one, being the easiest, most simple solution out there. And then on the other side, using all kinds of different data sources to make sure that what we send is relevant and ultimately increases in more revenue and better conversions for our clients.
Great, and what is one thing that you can really attribute to your success as a company?
One thing that we can attribute, I would say a lot of it goes down to the help, the community. We're both here in the Chicago startup community, and we've got a lot of smart people on our team working very hard, and it's an unbelievable team that we've been able to assemble here at Simple Relevance. Some of the smartest guys I've ever had the pleasure of working with. However, there's also an ecosystem. There's the old cliche that it kind of takes a village, and we've been incredibly blessed and very fortunate to be surrounded by unbelievable advisors, sources of capital here in the Chicago market, and just really an ecosystem here in the Midwest and in Chicago that is really just been fantastic in terms of helping us build, grow, advising us, making introductions, giving us the capital that we need to succeed, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, great. And Erik, tell me your predictions for your company in the next year.
Up and to the right, just going up on that hockey curve. We've got some very specific plans and predictions. So we expect to be well over $1 million in revenue by the end of the year. We've got a variety of strategic partnerships that we're expecting to have inked. But really, when it comes down to it, what we're really focused on in 2013 is making sure that each and every one of our clients is getting the most value out of our platform that they possibly can. So for each of our clients, really making sure that they're generating more revenue, they're getting more page views, it's resulting in higher conversion rates, and making sure that as we scale this business, and we're really starting to see it take off and really start to scale, as we're scaling it, that we make sure that we continue to focus on each and every one of our customers so that they're receiving the maximum amount of benefit possible.
And what are some tactics that you plan on using to increase your revenue this year?
This is really a transition point for us. 2013 is in a lot of ways, because 2012 was really about proving the technology first and then beginning to prove the business model. 2013 is all about taking that and then starting to scale it. There's this sort of cliche of, you have to make sure you're pointed in the right direction before you add fuel to the rocket. Because when you take off, you want to make sure you're going the right way. And that's been a real focal point for us, is really understanding exactly where can we be effective, what are the clients get the most value out of us, and how to really maximize on that. So when you talk about how do we make sure we increase our revenue, it's a multi-pronged approach. So it's a combination of starting to invest in digital marketing. We've got a great digital marketing team, starting to develop a lot more content and more of a thought leadership position around, we've got a ton of data, a ton of research. All these data points are sort of internal. We're starting to share that more and more and use that as a focus for really adding benefit to the ecosystem, with the idea that that then turns into more signups on our site. We're combining that with really starting to scale up our business development team as well. So we're starting to make hires on both inside sales as well as sales executives, and really understanding now that we understand how to execute from a technology perspective, and we validated how much value we can add to our clients, the next step is really starting to scale that business development team. And that's really what we're in the process of doing right now.
Okay, great. Erik, I thank you so much for meeting with me. And if you're interested in learning more about Simple Relevance and connecting with Erik, go to fundology.com.
Absolutely. We just signed up and are looking forward to it.
Thanks, Erik.
Oh.